I've been flying all over the world to enjoy racing and the running community, and now it's my turn to play host and welcome everyone to my home turf. So it's time to hop on the L and head to the Loop. This is a runner's weekend at the Chicago Marathon.
Yo, what's going on? It is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday, race weekend here in Chicago. I'm currently at the Expo, which doesn't make sense because I'm not running for the first time in a long time, but I'm here because I'm doing something I've never done at Chicago, and that's talk on a panel in the Expo Hall. I'm gonna be doing that with Lindsay Hein in just a little bit. I'm early though, so let's take a look inside and see what the Marathon Expo has to offer this year. The packet pickup area looked pretty empty. Very organized. Chicago is always very efficient. Let's see if I can find any friends. Look at this guy. Wow! Just stopped by the Rabbit booth. They're doing some screen printing. And basically the main thing I want to do is say hi to everybody. Make sure we're all set for the event tomorrow. And then also take a quick photo so I can put out a reminder that the event is tomorrow for everyone. And let's see what else is around. Nice to meet you. Yes, of course.
Look, my new fiancé.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit busy in here. Most of the booths are kind of small. Looks like On has a pretty big booth. Got a little bit of time. Very thirsty. Let's find something to drink. Guys, it's almost time for me to get up on stage. I don't see Lindsay around anywhere. I'm sure Lindsay will be here somewhere. She's got a little bit of time. I feel like Lindsay's been on stage all day today.
Most people watching this already know who Lindsay Hein is, but for those who don't, Lindsay has her own successful running podcast, and she and I are part of a larger group of personalities who are on a different podcast called Relay. This session was supposed to feature a couple additional Relay members, and we were going to talk about our favorite marathon memories. But flights got impacted coming into Chicago, so it was just Lindsay and me.
Yo, what's going on?
Lindsay had never actually interviewed me before, so we dug deep down into the Kofuzi origin story. Now, panels at expos are always hard because the acoustics are terrible and people are constantly coming in and out. But Lindsay is a great interviewer and a good number of people stuck around. Afterwards, there was some selfie time, and Lindsay and the sound guy from the expo could have just been being nice, but they did say that Galen Rupp was also on a panel earlier in the day, and more people got in line for selfies with me than they did for him. It's not a contest, but that did put a little feather in my cap.
That is all the selfies. Lindsay left. She's gonna go to her hotel, she said. But I think there is a industry like social hour, happy hour. So everyone that's at like the expo exhibiting is gonna be doing like, there's a party, I guess. So I've never heard of that before. So let's check that out. The expo is shutting down. The bar is getting set up.
Started here in 5 minutes. The bar is now open though, if you would like to grab a drink before we get started.
Apparently, at the end of the first day of the expo, there's a little party for all the exhibitors. The race director for the Chicago Marathon says a few words about how many people came through the Expo Hall that day, and he thanks everyone for helping make the Chicago Marathon Expo a success. The charity groups are invited too, and it was a nice surprise to see some friends there. And the BAA guy, who I see everywhere but I've never met, was also there.
That's it from the Expo and the industry social hour. The happy hour. Now we're gonna get some dinner.
Lindsay had made dinner reservations for a bunch of us, and we went to Robert's Pizza, which I had never been to before. It's in Streeterville. Locals don't ever really eat in Streeterville, but the food was good. And Peter finally made it into town. The ambiance was delightful, and it was good to have a quiet dinner with friends before things got really hectic.
Good morning. It is currently a little bit after 9 a.m. on a Friday here in Chicago. This year, my Chicago Marathon coverage is going to be different than what I normally do because normally I run the race. This year, I'm going to try and cover it more like a journalist. Let's go pick up my media credentials.
Months ago, I had applied for media credentials. I was hoping for starting corral and finish line access as part of my coverage of the American Pro Women, specifically. At first, Chicago Marathon was all confused and kept asking, what outlet am I from? And I told them I'm just a YouTuber, but I cover races and sent them links to some of my previous work. Eventually, they came back and said I could have some access, although not behind the finish line, and I felt like that was good enough. At least they didn't say no. But when I kept getting emails about scheduling for the press conference and which athletes would be in attendance there, I thought that my level of access included being able to go to the press conference. But apparently, that was not the case. They were really nice about it, but they weren't allowing me in.
All right, thank you very much. All right, guys, so I was not allowed into the press conference. I have some credentials, but my credentials aren't enough credential to get into the press conference. On the plus side, I found Peter.
Hey, also rejected from the press conference.
Yeah, so I feel a little bit less bad. Peter didn't get in. Also, P. Alvarez, who shoots really great stuff and is here to shoot for ASICS, also couldn't get to the press conference. So I feel like I'm in good company-ish, but now we've got some extra time on the calendar. So we're gonna go check out Tracksmith.
The Tracksmith pop-up has been in the same space for several years now, and while part of me wishes they would try something different, the fact that they are choosing tradition over novelty is just about the most East Coast thing that this New England brand could do. It's still one of the best opportunities you'll have to touch and feel so much of the Tracksmith catalog in one place at one time, and their Marathon Majors merch is always top-notch. Plus, they had Tracksmith bananas.
All right, that's it from the Tracksmith pop-up. It's always so dark in there, it's hard to really photograph, but they always do such a nice job. Now, let's head over to Bandit.
In contrast to the tradition of Tracksmith, Bandit has reinvented itself every year in Chicago. This year's theme was Architect's Studio, which works well for a city that has had to rebuild itself from literal ashes and whose architects were charged with the mantra, make no small plans. It took us over an hour to get into the space, but the time passed quickly. I was in line with friends, and I kept bumping into other people I knew.
This line for Bandit is super long. Never seen anything like this. Hey, how's it going?
Camera.
Good to see you again, man.
What's up?
How are you?
Doing right?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Once inside, the space delivered on the architect's theme. Race product was flying off the shelves, and there was coffee. And going back to that architect's mantra, the full quote from Daniel Burnham goes like this: "Make no small plans, for they have no magic to stir men's blood, and probably themselves will not be realized. I've always thought that this was a good quote for both architects and runners.
Left the Bandit pop-up. It was a really long wait, but very well done in there. They always have such a great takes on what modern retail should look like. It's amazing. Peter's gonna head back to the Expo. I don't know what he's doing there, but he has to go back. Suggested he take a divvy bike. And now, I think I have enough time to go for a run. So I'm gonna stop on my car, change real quick, and then hit the lakefront, because I haven't done that in a long time.
Before we moved out to the far suburbs a couple years ago, I used to run these routes every day. And I've been back since, but for some reason, on this particular run, I was feeling nostalgic. The old shoes that I really loved testing here, the frustrations of low heart rate training, and the relentless windiness of winter. The memories all came flooding back today. And for a moment, I wondered if maybe perhaps the pavement remembered me too. It didn't feel like it did. And while I was feeling suddenly very lonely, it was overall good to turn the legs over and enjoy the run.
Halfway into the run, about 3.5 miles from downtown. Sure do miss this view. Now, I've been thinking about the press conference thing all morning, and I was kind of sour about it, but before anyone gets all mad at Chicago Marathon, I do want to say that they did turn a lot of people away from the press conference, like Howie Kafuzzi couldn't get in there. I think they ultimately let him in, but he forgot his credentials up in his hotel room, and when he didn't have them, they wouldn't let him in. So, I mean, they were pretty strict about who they were letting into the press conference. But I'm not sure, but I think that when I requested media credentials, I only requested start line and finish line access. I don't know if I had to specifically state that I wanted access to the press conference or not. If that's the case and I didn't, then that's on me. But I'm not sure, I don't remember. Anyway. I thought that the shakeout run was kind of far, and I thought I might have to move my car, but it's actually just up the street. So I'm gonna leave my car here and head over.
The first shakeout run that I would be hosting for Chicago Marathon weekend was at Industry Ales. It's a pretty new spot in Chicago, and it was gorgeous on the inside. Rabbit was there to support the Kofuzi Run Club by letting us demo their new Dream Chaser shoe. And most importantly, they provided a space for us all to meet. After we put on some new shoes and chatted for a bit, Rabbit Sam welcomed everyone and explained the route, and then we were off for a sunset run.
Yo! Alright, thank you guys, thank you.
The route took us over to the lakefront and over to the planetarium. At the turnaround point, we waited for the entire group to assemble, and then of course, we took a selfie.
You're 1.5 miles into the run. We got beautiful sunset. Chicago is really treating us today.
Fun fact, this is where my wife and I took our wedding photos about 17 years prior. We then took the same route back to Industry Ales and headed to the upstairs bar for some rehydration with a special Rabbit 26.2 brew. There was food, Rabbit raffled off a bunch of prizes, and the atmosphere was perfect for a Friday night.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8:15 in the morning in Chicago. Chicago on Saturday, the day before the marathon. So today, we're going on a shakeout run. Let's go meet in Lincoln Park, find everyone at ASICS and Fleetfeet. Good morning. Thanks for coming. Pretty much from the moment I got to the ASICS and Fleetfeet event on Saturday morning, I was swarmed for selfies. This was incredibly flattering, and I'm always honored to do it. It means so much to me that on the day before your marathons, you all would wait in line just to spend a moment with me. I love hearing about how far you've come to get where you are, what your goals are for the race, and I'm always happy to give tips for Chicago Marathon or for your cheer squad to get around the city. But at a certain point, after all the ASICS demo shoes were handed out, Fleetfeet made sure that I got everyone together for our group photo before we headed out for the run.
All right, welcome everybody!
Oh. There's a lot of people here. If it's your first marathon tomorrow, raise your hand. Awesome. A lot of you guys have been asking me for one piece of advice. And the one thing that I'll tell you is, everything you need to do tomorrow, you already have within you to do tomorrow. You're gonna be able to do it. You've already put in the work. You guys are ready. Go out there and enjoy those 26.2. You guys ready? Yeah! Right. Yo!
And then we were off. Fleetfeet provided the pacers to lead out multiple groups, and we went north along the lakefront.
Yo, Mike!
Oh, hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you. How are you? Thanks for coming.
It was a bit windy, which made the waters choppy, and it was like Chicago was saying, yesterday was about the skyline, and today is about the Great Lake.
Guys, we've hit the turnaround point. I got 1.7 miles back. We're gonna head back. It's time for t-shirts, pancakes, and selfies.
When we got back to Lincoln Park, ASICS and Fleetfeet provided pre-race pancakes and syrup. My apologies to all the Canadians who intended for the caliber of our maple syrup. We do the best we can on this side of the border. And the shirts that ASICS made for the Kofuzi Run Club this year were incredible. ASICS has been making Kofuzi Run Club shirts for the Chicago Shakeout every year, and every year it's one of my favorite things that I get to be a part of. A couple notes about the t-shirts though. I know some of you didn't get a shirt even though you had a confirmed RSVP, and that the distribution setup benefits the fastest runners. I'm aware of the issue, and I will try to figure out something different for next year. Also, I don't know why the shirts say 2025. I did approve the final graphics, and I don't recall there being any year on the shirt at all, but it's almost 100% certain that I didn't catch the error, so that one's on me. Last thing I want to say about the event is thank you to Chase Fleming, my videographer for the weekend. He not only helped me provide footage from this event, but he also helped film the Rabbit event the night before, and also some key moments from the marathon itself. This entire video just wouldn't be the same without his contribution, and I'll be working with him again in New York, so if you see him, make sure to say hi.
All right, guys. Ran all the miles, took all the selfies. I did not eat any of the pancakes, though. I didn't have time for that, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakfast. Now, Chase and I, we're gonna go check out the On store.
On did team up with a local brewery and run club for a Chicago presence this year, but I had scheduling conflicts for a lot of those events. So instead, Chase and I went to check out their new permanent location near Rush and Division, which is the exact right location for an On store if you know Chicago. The store was pristine, and I love the slide-out shoe shelves. There were a lot of shoes that I had not ever seen before, and while some were pretty exciting, that excitement is tempered by the fact that I often can't tell if an On shoe is a running shoe or just run inspired. The apparel, though, was crisp and neat. On has always excelled in the apparel and accessories department. Everything they make is just so good.
finished checking out the on-store. Has a nice new permanent space there. I love the way that they do retail. I then dropped off Chase at his hotel. Think we might be meeting up for dinner later. We'll see what his schedule ends up being like. But I've got a little bit of extra time today. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, but now I'm glad that I am going to be able to make it to the PYNRS pop-up.
PYNRS is a black-owned running apparel brand that Tommy Runs first put me onto a couple of years ago. Since then, I've had a chance to meet the founder, Sid Baptista, and see the company grow with pop-ups in Boston and New York, and now I was excited to see what Sid and team had brought to Chicago. The space looked amazing. PYNRS has recently announced a formal partnership with Brooks, so there was Glycerin Max and water bottles decorating the space, and the PYNRS and GRC Run Club collab merch looked incredible. The whole thing was in the Drip Collective space, and I did get a coffee while I was there. I drank it at the counter, and it was a welcome moment of calm in an otherwise frenetic weekend.
All right, I had a delicious coffee in there and just sat for a minute, kind of zoned out on my phone for a little while and had a chance to kind of recover, which was much needed. The space in there is awesome. Hopefully you had a chance to check it out if you're in Chicago. Man, I'm just so happy for Sid and for PYNRS. They're making such great progress. Now, I just heard from Allie Feller. She told me she can get me on the list for her live show today, which I wasn't sure if I'd be able to go or not, because I can never RSVP fast enough to get a ticket for any of her live shows. So I'm happy to get on the list. It's not till 4, so I've got a little bit of time. I think I might be able to squeeze in a little bit of an extra run. Guys, just hit the 3-mile mark. I'm gonna turn it around, head back, get ready for the live show.
After changing quickly in my car, I got to the Alley on the Run live show about 30 minutes early. And even then, the line to get in was around the block. Since I didn't exactly have a ticket to this show though, I kind of hid towards the back of the space once I got in and watched as everyone eagerly rushed in to get a seat near the stage. Fun fact, after I had gotten denied at the press conference the day prior, I had bumped into Allie on my way out of the Athlete Hotel. I was feeling pretty bummed about the situation, and Allie was nice enough to buy me a coffee to cheer me up. And while we were talking, I had mentioned that at least I had got a chance to see Emily Sisson that morning walking back to the hotel after an early run. And although I've seen her race many times, I'd never actually had the chance to say hello. But Emily appeared to be on the phone at the time, so I didn't bother her for a photo. That's when Allie said that I should just come to the live show since Emily Sisson was going to be the guest. So this was a real treat for me. Thanks, Allie, for the invite.
That was a lot of fun in there. I hate to leave early. I wanted to stay for the whole time. Thanks, Ellie, for making sure that I could attend today. It was super fun. But I have dinner plans as well, so I'm gonna hop back in the car and pick up Tommy, and we're gonna get some pizza at Pauly G's.
Tommy had asked me a while ago if we could go to dinner the night before the race. He knows that I know he's vegan, and as a local, I'd know a good spot. I picked Pauly G's because I like the pizza there. They have a vast menu of vegan and vegetarian offerings. And because it was in Wicker Park and not in the Loop or Streeterville, it wouldn't be slammed with other marathoners looking to carb up.
We went there with Tommy's friend Dante, who was running her first Chicago on a Nike bib like Tommy was, and I like to think it was a nice, low-key dinner for the night before a race. All right, the athletes are off. It's time to get into position. All right, guys, they are off. They're moving quickly. I'm gonna try to catch up 1 or 2 more times before they leave the loop. Gabby Rucker went out hard. She's leading the American women. Emma and Kira are right there. Susanna Sullivan. Great job, Susanna! Great job, Emma. Great job, Betsy. Let's go, Matt Fox! Let's have Matt Fox in there! Let's go! Look at baby! Gosh, oh, they're all so fast. I'm so tired. Let's go, Joe! Earlier, I said that Gabby Rucker was moving really fast. I misspoke, it was Susanna Sullivan. She was still ahead of the other American women. And then we just saw Kira, Emma, Betsy, all together. They were working. Now I'm gonna head over to a little bit further out, about a little bit past the half marathon point. Over at Westlake. Look over! Oh my god, good to see you guys. How are you? Yeah. Just ran into Alvarez. He gave me a bracelet. Awesome. I still think we got, I think they're at mile 88 right now. At least the women are. We've got about 20 or so minutes till they make it through here. We're at mile 13. move to the next location. I'm gonna try to go to my, yo! I'm gonna try to go to my lake team. We made it to Greektown. Let's see what we can find. Great job, Lindsay, on your race. You're doing great. You're looking good. You're looking strong. Great job, Lori. You're looking good.
How far is Lindsay?
She's about like 12 seconds, 15 seconds up. Great job, Sarah. Looking good, Annie. Second food. Look at this guy. Look at him, look easy. All right, I've got maybe 30 minutes before the American women cross the line. Maybe less. It's gonna take me some time to get through security, so. Oh, I'm kinda close. Made it to Mount Roosevelt. The announcers are saying the men are coming at 2:03 currently, so I haven't missed the men's finish. So I think I'm gonna be in okay shape for the women's. This could be a women's world record. Holy crap.
Here they come, ladies and gentlemen, and there she is.
Good job, Lindsay! Good job! Let's go, Rory!
Congratulations from Tata and
Great job, Lauren! Let's go! All right, it's just about time for me to get out of here. All right, it's super crowded through here. Trying to get much further past so I can get to some space, but I just ran into Luke Talbot, one of my favorite small YouTubers. It's good to see him. I never met him in person, but we've been talking a lot online, so good to see him. He's been having a good day. He particularly enjoyed Central pacing. He didn't know Central was gonna be out here, so he's a big fan. That was fun. That was fun. This is why I love Chicago. You see everybody here.
And so I spent the rest of my day working backwards along the course, trying to find my friends. I've been enjoying the Chicago Marathon as a racer for the past 6 runnings, and while I've enjoyed each one of those experiences, nothing was like seeing my home city again from this side of the barricades. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're burnt out, and I'm starting to realize that I overdid it with everything this year. But this Chicago, the year that I didn't run, I'll always remember it as the year that recharged me the most.
Let's go!